Welcome back to The Big Picture. This week we're talking about efforts in our area that make a difference, that help people. And I think most of us agree that the best way to help is to give someone a start. Give the gift that will encourage someone to be the best that they can be. The old saying about giving a fish, you feed a person for a day. Teaching to fish, you feed that person for life. Well, Habitat for Humanity is an example of that kind of philosophy. If you help someone to have a home to call their own, a place to take pride in, what better way can you instill a sense of energy to move forward and take control of your life, to provide a quality, a security for your family, than to have that base? Stephanie Lawson joins us to talk about Habitat's efforts. Stephanie is Development and Communications Manager for Habitat Buffalo. Welcome, Stephanie. And it's a great project. You guys have been very effective in the area. Tell me a little bit about Habitat Buffalo. How many homes have you guys built over the years?
So thank you for having me. We have 310 homes completed, and we're just about to wrap up construction on 2 more houses. So that's 312. And we've been in Buffalo since 1985, so we've been doing this for a little while here in our community. And we do this primarily with the support of volunteers. We have thousands of volunteers. It takes over 5,000 volunteer hours to build a house. So it's really remarkable. It's a real testament to the generosity of our community that we're able to do what we do.
When the volunteers that help out, are they all the same people time after time, or do you have more and more people, different people coming?
Yeah, we have a core group of, we refer to them as our home team volunteers. These are folks who have a specific skill set. Maybe they're plumbers or electricians. Many of them don't come to us that way. They're retired teachers or bankers, and they want to pick up a new hobby. We'll teach them how to run rough electric or plumbing through a house, and they come week after week. We really count on those home team members. But then we have groups like bankers and teachers who are just looking for something to do on the weekend, or they want to bring their company out for a team build day. So we have a variety of folks. Anybody can give to Habitat. And it's not just building a house. A lot of folks think you have to swing a hammer to get involved, but that's not the case. Our program is really a wraparound program for families. We are always looking for volunteers to help the families in our home buyer program meet the requirements, because people don't just come to Habitat and get a set of keys. They have to contribute at least 400 hours of sweat equity. That's time building their house. They have to attend financial literacy classes, first-time home buyer classes. There's an awful lot to do. They have to repair their credit score and open a bank account. These are really tough things for some folks. So we look for volunteers who can help our families through the program, as well as come out and swing the hammer.
So there's a sense of responsibility when somebody takes part in this program to get a home. They're really putting an effort into it. It's not something that they just get.
No. We believe in giving folks a hand up, not a handout. Nothing from Habitat is ever given. Everything that we do is encouraging folks, empowering folks to take control of their home, get control of their finances, repair their credit. We've had families come to us with credit scores that would not qualify for a mortgage. We've gone line by line through their credit report, help them get back on the right track so that they're qualified for our program. And the goal is for that family to qualify for a mortgage at the end. So they are repaying a 30-year mortgage, and it's affordable for them. And that's really what we're trying to do, is help that family have ownership affordably and be successful homeowners in the long run.
Well, tell me a little bit about the process. When you start construction on a home, is that earmarked for a specific family, or do you complete a home and then decide who's qualified?
So there's always 2 programs running simultaneously. There's our construction effort and our home buyer program. So I'll talk about construction first. We have built, as I said, over 300 houses in Buffalo. And we've had a really easy time of doing it until very recently. Before it was cool to live in the city of Buffalo, Habitat was building. Before these property values started increasing, Habitat Buffalo was building. And so we, of our 300 homes, have rehabbed about 2/3 of them. And typically, people would come to us, hand us houses. We'd buy them very inexpensively, or they would be donated. You know, grandma would move out of her house on the west side, and the kids would just hand us the keys and say, we'll donate it to Habitat. I challenge anybody to go get a house on the west side right now. The market has gone up, and though it's great for our city, it's really posed some new challenges for Habitat. So we always have an inventory of houses, and we work to match families with those houses based on what they can afford. Some houses are more expensive than others, and just like anybody else who goes to buy a house, a Habitat home buyer doesn't get the biggest house, they get what they can afford. We also consider where a family's at in their sweat equity. If we know we're going to finish a house sooner than a family's able to finish their volunteer hours, they may not qualify for that house. So there are a lot of components when we're considering how we match a family with a house. The number of children, if there are in-laws living in the house as well. And families, as they're working through the program, it can take 18 months for them to finish from start to end their program responsibilities. And so there are a couple variables, but we usually match the family with the house about halfway through the construction process.
There's a lot of questions I want to ask.
Sure.
Before we run out of time, I want to talk about the promotion that you have, the Hammers and Ale event.
Yeah.
I want to get that in.
Sure.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Only in Buffalo can we build an entire house with beer. Let me start there. So last year we piloted this program. It's a campaign, it's year-long. It's called the House Beer Built, and it's 2 phases. And we do this in partnership with the local brewers, local distillers, bars and restaurants, and with the Buffalo Niagara Brewers Association. So we have this wonderful beer card I've brought with me, and you can take this card and redeem it for a drink at 25 different bars, brewers, and distillers. And so these went on sale around Christmas. We have about 100 left for sale. And on March 7th, we will bring these brewers and distillers together for a tasting event at the Barrel Factory in South Buffalo. And that's really what we're encouraging folks to get involved in right now. They can go online and buy tickets. Find us at habitatbuffalo.org. Tickets are $45, and it's tastings. It's beer, it's cocktails, it's delicious local Buffalo food. So it's really a great event. Last year, we had 250 people through the door.
Well, there's not many people in this area that like beer. So I'm gonna hold this up, and I'm gonna make sure that we really make a special effort to promote this, because I can't imagine anybody wanting to take advantage of this. But you know what? We'll see what we can do here.
It's only $25.
Okay. Yeah,
there are 30
it's
drinks on that card.
30 drinks for $25. Okay.
And you can buy them at Transit Lanes here in Williamsville, and then you can buy them at the Habitat office and on South Park in Buffalo, and at the Buffalo Restore at 501 Amherst Street in the city of Buffalo.
Well, I may just have to help out just because I'm a nice guy.
Oh, because you're a nice guy.
I just, it's one of those things where I'm always willing to help. Okay, so getting back to, now I lost my train of thought.
I know
just
beer,
thinking
right?
about beer. Okay. Okay, so people qualify by how do they go through the process?
So we look at a couple things. We look at their willingness to partner with Habitat. That's a huge component. A family cannot enter our program unless they're willing to do the work to get themselves prepared to be homeowners. We also have to look at their income. Do they qualify for a mortgage? And if not, how can we get them to qualify for a mortgage? Are we looking at helping them with, credit counseling? Is there a lot of outstanding debt? What is the likeliness that they'll be successful homeowners? Our goal is not to have a quick fix. Our goal is to have a lasting impact for families. And this really is a game changer. Last year at Hammers and Ales, at our tasting event, we had a vendor serving tacos. So I was at that station a lot. And one of the people pulled me aside and said, "You're not going to believe this. The girl over there serving food moved into a Habitat house when she was 13. And now she's one of the first people in her family in college." So our impact is felt generationally. We watch the kids of our home buyers do better than their parents, and their kids do better. We've been at this for more than 30 years. We've watched these families grow and grow up, and they're doing better and better each generation.
Well, one of the special things about this kind of a charity, if you will, or program, is that it is that sense of responsibility. Once they work at this, and once they get that home base, that security and place to live, it has to energize them into taking control of their lives and giving them a path forward.
Absolutely. We're really about empowering families. We're not giving anything away. So they have real skin in the game. And not only are they good homeowners, they're great neighbors. Our families work together on houses through their sweat equity. So one family might be working alongside another family building houses together, hoping that one day they will be able to purchase a home. These families build a bond. We work in neighborhoods for 18 months, 2 years, 3 years in one community, and the neighbors get to know us. So we're uplifting entire neighborhoods in the process of helping that one family.
Well, one of the things I hadn't thought about before till you mentioned it is as the prices of real estate go up, it's got to be harder for you to procure sites.
Absolutely.
How do you deal with that? And is this just within the city, or do you expand outside of the city of Buffalo when things like that happen?
So the city has been most affordable for our families because they have lower taxes in the city than in some other parts of Western New York. But we have built homes in Lackawanna. We just dedicated our first home in Cheektowaga, and we are looking to expand outside of the city limits. Primarily, though, we're staying in the city because it is so affordable. But as the result of these increased property values, we're having to be more resourceful. And that's where campaigns like the House Beer Built comes in. It's becoming more expensive to build, and we need to raise more funds. And fortunately, last year, this proved to be very successful. We built, I kid you not, an entire house with the support of this campaign. Last year, we raised enough money to build an entire home. We dedicated it 2 weekends ago, and the family will be moving in by the end of the month. So as the need goes up and the cost goes up, we're looking at new innovative ways to build and to secure those funds to build, and the House That Beer Built is just one component.
Well, we only have a minute or two left. Once you have a family in a home, and this is, like you say, about over 300
Sure.
homes. What's the success rate in terms of families staying in these homes and benefiting long term?
The vast majority of our families stay right where they are. None of our families have won the lottery that we know of, so they're not out to move, or we would love for them to have an opportunity at a different house or different living situation, but the majority of our families end up staying in our house, and we see the real success in that second generation moving up that socioeconomic ladder. That said, our families, we're partnered with them for the life of their mortgage. So 30-year partnership. We're seeing our first mortgages get paid off recently. The first home that we built, the home buyer is still in that house. So we're really excited, and her mortgage is completely paid off. And we really work with families so that if something should happen, there's a life crisis, somebody gets injured, loses a job, they're not going to fall behind on that mortgage. We're going to stay in this with them until that mortgage is repaid.
Well, we certainly thank Stephanie for being here. Habitat Buffalo is a great way to contribute to your neighbors, friends and neighbors, and of course the House That Beer Built. One more time we'll mention beer. Before we end this week's Big Picture, I'd like to give a shout out to Nick Smith, who wrote a very nice letter about the show and our guests each week. I appreciate hearing from all of you who watch the show, and I hope that the various topics we cover provide food for thought in a way that you don't normally get on local television here in Western New York. This is not a paid infomercial. People don't pay to get on this show, as is in the case with a lot of other talk shows here locally on TV in the area. I want this show to have substance, and if you have a topic that you'd like us to explore, please let me know at phil.arno@wbbz.tv. Do that, and I will do my best to make it happen, and hopefully to make it interesting and informative. Thanks so much for watching The Big Picture, and thanks, as always, for watching WBBZ TV. We'll see you next time.